It is a continuous process. It has to go through various cycles of recruitment also. And the only thing that I wanted to mention so that everyone knows a little bit about what is happening in this recruitment is that this is a very specific pool of people that we are trying to recruit. It is not that we have extensive pool of people. These are subject matter experts, especially in aviation. We are trying to pick up senior people that we are trying to pick up and who have a demand internationally and in other wings also. And we have a lot of people coming in from Air Force and they have their own preferences also. So there is a limited pool that we are trying to work with, and we have done every single, in fact, we have put in more effort to do this. That is why I have also mentioned that in the last year, 103 posts which have been recruited was the highest ever. Because we wanted to speed up the process, we wanted to ensure that DGCA, the posts that are created is well equipped and it is full of the people that have to be recruited and no vacancies. It is an ongoing process. This year we are committed to take in 190 more, and also in the future all the posts are being worked out in such a way that no vacancies, the situation of no vacancies does not arise.
First supplementary, Mani Sanjay Singh, not present. Mani Sri Raghav Chadha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, India's civil aviation sector is booming, no doubt. But it appears that the regulator, the DGCA, which is the backbone of the sector, is cracking up under pressure. I say this because it is understaffed, it is underfunded, and it lacks autonomy. Sir, Parliamentary Standing Committee की रिपोर्ट बताती है कि वर्ष 2024 में टेक्निकल पोस्ट में ओवरऑल वैकेंसीज की बात नहीं कर रहा, डीजीसीए के अंदर टेक्निकल पोस्ट में 55% की वैकेंसी है। टेक्निकल पोस्ट का काम क्या होता है सर? एयर सेफ्टी इंस्पेक्शन, पैसेंजर सेफ्टी, पायलट लाइसेंसिंग, एयरक्राफ्ट मेंटेनेंस और एयर वर्दीनेस। सर ये शॉर्टेज नहीं, ये क्राइसिस है। और मुझे लगता है सर देयर इज नो, थैंक यू सर, सर सवाल पे आ रहा हूं, दैट देयर इज नो मार्जिन ऑफ एरर इन द स्काईज। तो मेरा माननीय मंत्री जी से सर आपके माध्यम से सवाल है कि हम एक डीजीसीए को सेबी जो एक फाइनेंशियल मार्केट का इंडिपेंडेंट रेगुलेटर है और ट्राई जो टेलीकॉम सेक्टर का एक इंडिपेंडेंट रेगुलेटर है, ऐसा ही एक ऑटोनॉमस स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी में क्यों नहीं तब्दील करते? और दूसरा टेक्निकल पोस्ट की वैकेंसी कब तक भरी जाएगी?
प्लीज, थैंक यू
Sir, I have to place on record that the DGCA is not under any kind of pressure. It is operating with utmost seriousness, professionalism, and all the requirements that are there that actually strengthens it according to the International Civil Aviation Protocol. At this moment that you're seeing, I've already explained it in a couple of questions also, the situation is that the posts were just recently created. And like you said, when it comes to the technical posts, you need that right technical capabilities people only to be sitting in those posts. And when you look at that kind of experience, that kind of situation, then obviously the pool which is limited makes it much more difficult to engage these people. And these are people who are having to regulate the safety, which is the prime most importance. The whole fundamental pillar for the growth of our civil aviation sector has been the safety and security of the people and the operations. So keeping that intact, the process itself has so much technical this thing that it gets a little difficult, but we have been trying with the UPSC and other people also to engage the right people so that the timelines which takes for it to engage these people gets reduced. And Honorable Member has also talked about the budget. We have seen in the last 1 year also the 10% increase in the budget is there, and accordingly whenever required, definitely your suggestions have been noted, and whatever best can be done to assist DGCA to be more powerful and more engaging in terms of ensuring the safety, we will be doing it from our side.
Mania Priyanka ji.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman, sir. Sir, there comes a moment in time, when we keep our politics aside, and this particular air crash gave us that moment for even civil aviation to understand the challenges and the loopholes that exist. Sir, my question is very specific, which I've written to the Honorable Minister about. That he told us to be patient with the final report. We were absolutely patient with the interim report too. But why is it that the report was released to the Indian people at 2 a.m. in the morning and there was no briefing done with regards to the AAIB report? Sir, just 1 second, a question related to the same thing. Pilots have raised their concern that there is no aviation expert who is sitting on that AAIB panel. Why is that so? If Honorable Minister could address that, I'd be grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I'll address the second part first, where it says that no aviation experts have been there. It is not true. There are two subject matter experts in terms of pilots who have been engaged within the investigation team. And likewise, other engineers and all from the industry also have been engaged. And International Civil Aviation Organization observer also from the UN, where a lot of articles were there that he was rejected and all. So baseless articles have come up at the time, but everyone who was supposed to be in the investigation team, they have all been there. In fact, pilots have also been there. So that addresses the second part. And also regarding the report releasing, it was entirely up to the AIB. It was up to the AIB to finish the report and to release the report. And it's not that when they finished, then they uploaded it. It is according to their this thing. I don't think there was very specific reason of why it is translating into 3 flights per week. Usually the commercial viability happens when there are 7 flights per week. There is a demand to run 7 flights per week. So we are looking into this, sir. We are doing the study also on how many people, because so that it becomes easier to convince the private airline operators also to operate these sectors. And in fact, the operators also do their own surveys because they are also in the intention to connect more areas, to connect new routes. So definitely this is also under consideration. And we will support from our side also so that this survey or the viability is thoroughly being addressed.
Thank you. माननीय अशोक मित्तल, माननीय अशोक मित्तल, ये सवाल पटना एयरपोर्ट से जुड़ा है। आपका सवाल इस पर है, प्लीज।
धन्यवाद महोदय। सर, हाल में इंडिगो की फ्लाइट C6E2482 जो कि एयरबस A320 और 271N थी और दिल्ली से पटना आ रही थी। जयप्रकाश नारायण इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पटना पर लैंडिंग के दौरान रनवे को ओवरशूट करके आगे निकल गई। यह घटना तकरीबन रात को हुई और एक हादसा बचा। सर, पटना एयरपोर्ट की रनवे लंबाई लंबे समय से चिंता का विषय रही है। वर्तमान में अनस्टेबल रनवे केवल 1677 मीटर तक सीमित है। खासकर एडवर्स विंड कंडीशन में यह लंबाई न केवल नैरो बॉडी एयरक्राफ्ट जैसे A320 और B737 के लिए रिस्की है, बल्कि वाइड बॉडी एयरक्राफ्ट जैसे बोइंग 777 और 787 या एयरबस A390 के लिए तो कंप्लीटली अनफीजिबल है, जिन्हें 2500 से 3500 मीटर रनवे की जरूरत होती है। मेरा सवाल आपके माध्यम से मिनिस्टर ऑफ सिविल एविएशन से प्रश्न है, क्या ऐसी कोई फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट तैयार की जा रही है जिससे पता लग सके कि फ्यूचर में लार्ज एयरक्राफ्ट ऑपरेशन में पटना एयरपोर्ट को कैसे सुरक्षित बनाया जा सकता है? धन्यवाद।
माननीय मंत्री जी।
Sir, based on the runway constraints, which the only honorable member has also mentioned, the Patna airport is a smaller runway, sir, where there are restricted operations with the load penalty only, and which is very much thoroughly followed by the regulator and the airline operator also, so that safe operations happen at the Patna airport. And whenever these kind of incidents happen, they are properly investigated and ensured that the next time these kind of incidents don't happen. But when it comes to the futuristic solution on having wide body operations and having long overhaul operations from these areas, then it is proposed to have a new airport only, Greenfield Airport. But as this airport is restricted, and if you want to expand the runway also, it is physically impossible, because there is railway track on one side and there is a clock tower on the other side, and without the land you can't expand the runway also. So within the stipulated runway of what you have mentioned to be 2,100 meters, to have these wide body operations is not at all possible. So So an alternate runway which can cater for the wide body operations is being considered. In the budget also a greenfield airport for the city of Patna has been proposed. So we are actively looking into this solution by creating alternative airport.
Dr. V. Sivdasan. Dr. V. Sivdasan. Dr. V. Sivdasan. You have a question, supplementary.
Yes, sir.
It relates to Patna Airport.
Yes, sir.